You how to organize your Google Drive, how to get there, and how to use the glass folders that you've already been assigned. If you haven't found your Google Drive yet, there's a few ways to get there. Sign into your mail and then look for the cube of 9 squares. The cube of 9 squares has lots of options. You're looking for the triangle that is Drive. You can also use the cube of 9 squares that's up here, and that's any page that you open in Google Chrome, and there's your triangle. And even easier is to type in drive.google.com. However you get there, you're going to want to bookmark the page. So once you get to your Drive, add it to your favorites, to your bookmarks bar, call it whatever you like. I've called mine Google Drive so I can find it easily. All of my schoolwork is going to go into my Google Drive, and there are a few parts of Google Drive which I'll explain. My Drive is where you store all your work. My Drive is anything that you've created under the New tab, so any new folders, any files you've uploaded or folders you've uploaded, any new documents, which is the equivalent of a Microsoft Word document, any new sheets, which is like an Excel sheet, any new slides, which is a Google presentation, or lots of other things, they will wind up in your Drive. And your Drive is your own Drive until you start sharing things, and I'll tackle that in a different video. I've only got a few documents that I've put into my Drive. I've been really studious and I've created a folder for my music work, and I've got a couple other documents. Now your Drive probably is full of lots of other things by now, and what we want to do is organize our Drive the best way so that our teachers and all the students are using the same method to organize their folders. So the good news is you already have folders for all your subjects. I've created a 7 music folder, but there actually is a folder that's been created for you. You'll find all of the folders and anything that's been shared with you in the incoming folder. The incoming place is where teachers or other students have shared things with you, and they will appear here. Some of these things maybe are not so important, but some of these things, and so they can sit here and they'll be here as long as you need them, but some of the things I actually want to put in my Drive so I can organize them my own way. Here's that music folder. This is the official music folder, or it will have a code similar to this. And if I hover over this folder in the incoming section where I am, I have the option to download it. I don't really want to do that. That's no good to me. Or I can add it to my Drive. I'm going to choose to add it to my Drive, and that will put it under the My Drive tab. So I will move it there. And then eventually it should tell me where it is in my Drive, and this Add to My Drive will disappear. I have the chance to undo it if I was really making a mistake, but I'm going to leave it that way. And now it tells me it's in my Drive, and I don't have the option to add it to my Drive. So I can see here that my science folder is ready to be added to my Drive, so I'll add that to my Drive as well. I move it into my Drive. My maths folder is ready. They still have the option there to add to my Drive, and I'm going to move it into my Drive, and the same with my English folder. So I'm going to add to my Drive. This just takes them out of the incoming folder. This is anything that has been shared with you, and you have the option. The rest of these things, not so important to me at the moment, so I'm going to leave them in my incoming. I don't want them cluttering up my Drive. So if I go back to my Drive, I will find that all of those folders are there. These are the official folders, and I've cheated a little bit and made my own versions, but your official school folders will say something like Hapara Teacher Dashboard. These are folders that have been created for you for each of your subjects. These are really the only folders that we should see when you go to My Drive. You don't have to organize your Google Drive this way, but it will be a lot easier for you and your teachers if you do. Now, I got excited and I created a 7 music folder. So I can take that folder with a single click, and I can drag that folder into the official 7 music folder. It's going to tell me that anything that's in that folder will be shared with my teacher, but that's normal. That's okay. I want my teacher to be able to see everything. So now instead of having a confusing other 7 music folder plus this official one, I've just got the official one. You may have noticed that my 7 music folder, if I go into it, is colored purple. I like purple for music. So I'm going to change the color of that folder because it makes me happy. With a single click, I select the folder and then right click. Most of the things you want to do, you can do with a right click. With a right click, you can choose to open it in different ways. You can create new folders. You can share this folder. For the moment, my right click is going to take me to change color. And I'm going to choose this purple. Now my folder is a beautiful purple. My English folder clearly should be blue. My maths folder, let's see, that's the most exciting one, so I'm going to change that color to red. My science folder, one single left click to select it, and then a right click to change the color to green for the environment. So now I'm getting close to a really organized Google Drive. You can see I have a couple things that I've created before this whole shenanigans began with organizing my drive. So the Human Genome Project, one single left click will select it. I think I want that in my science folder. So I'm going to just click it and drag it into science. I'll acknowledge that it's going to be shared with my teacher there, and that's what I want. My timetables document, that's already been shared, but if it is, it's already been selected. If I want to select it, single left click, and I will move that into my maths folder. So now I acknowledge that it's being shared with my teacher, and this is everything I want. This is, and you'll have a few more subjects in there as well. So now I've got a nice clean drive. There might be a few things that I want to keep separate, some school-related things that maybe I don't want to put under each of these categories, maybe to do with my sporting or performing or arts commitments. So I will create a new folder, maybe just one new folder, and call it personal. You can call it whatever you like. And that's just a way to keep all those other things in there. And within the personal folder, I can organize myself further. And I will put my sport commitments in there and create a folder for that. And maybe I'll create a folder for my brass ensemble, because I'm so excited about my commitment there and the schedule and the exciting opportunities, and you can put lots of things in there. So looking again at my drive, it's nice and clean. I've got my official subject sites, and yours will say Hapara Teacher Dashboard or words to that effect. And within them, I can place documents that I've already been working on relating to the subject. I can place, for the example of music, the folder I already created in music, which has at least one document I've already created, and it's all organized in my drive in the correct folders. Now, if you ever notice this little icon, this little people icon, this means that it's shared with somebody. So some of the things in your drive, I'll go back to my main drive, will not be shared with anybody else. If I put something in the personal folder, and if I create a new Google Sheet, which maybe is a way for me to organize my practice schedule, that's only going to be shared with me and whoever else I want to share it with. So that new document has saved itself. I don't need to save it anymore. And eventually it will show up in my sport drive. And I'll notice when it does show up that it doesn't have the little people next to it. And that means that it's just mine. Only for me. If I want to be absolutely sure, I'll single click it. I'll right click, because the right click is the avenue that we can get to all these things, and I'll check the sharing permissions. And I'll see that underneath here, it's not shared with anybody else. If I want to share it with somebody else, I can type in their email here, and so on and so forth, and then I can choose to share with that person. But I'll handle that in a different email, different video rather. So if I go back to music, you can see that it's been shared, because that little icon is there. Single left click, right click to achieve this little menu bar, and go with share, and I can see that, haha, some other person, this person, Chris Person, has the right to look at this. So I know then that it's shared and with whom it's shared. So I've got a nice clean drive here, and when my teachers send me things, they will go directly into these folders. My English teacher will send it straight there, my math teacher will send it there, and so on and so forth. Nobody has access to your personal folder except yourself, so don't look for anything there unless you've put it there. Now, some of your teachers are still learning how to use this, and they might share things with you by email, in which case you'll get an email link that will take you to the document, and you can move it into one of these folders. Some of your teachers will share it, and it will appear in your incoming folder. So if a teacher says they've shared something with you, and you haven't found it right away, this is the first place to look, in incoming. And you'll see the teacher's name there, and you'll see the document that they've shared, and you can choose to add it to your drive. And once you've added it to your drive, you can move it wherever you like. and it doesn't affect where the teacher has it. There are 3 other things here. You can look at your most recent documents, the ones that you've worked on most recently, and you can look at your starred documents. Starred documents are the ones that you want to add a star to because you're going to use them. These are the projects you're working on right now. Your drive, even though it's really well organized, you can think, where is that assignment I'm working on? I've gone through and I've added a star to the Human Genome Project because that's important to me. And when I go to the starred tab, I'll only see starred items. Now when I'm finished with this project, I'm going to single left click it to select it and single right click it to get all the options. And my right click gives me the option to remove the star. If I remove the star, it's no longer on my starred list. If I need to go back and find that that's really important to me again, I have to go and find the document. I know it's in my science folder because that's probably where something like that belongs. I can see my teachers put in something there for me to watch, and I have some other things to work on. So maybe actually my science project is the one I'm working on right now. Single left click, single right click, and that's how I can add a star. And now that I've added a star to this, it'll be in my starred folder. So this is the stuff you're working on this very moment. And finally, when I'm really finished with my science project and I think that's it, I've uploaded, I've done all I can do, and it's been marked and I'm done with it, I'll put it in the bin. You can remove it to the bin, or you can right click, where you can do pretty much everything, and remove it to the bin. If you do this and you think, oh my goodness, I didn't want to do this, you can either undo it immediately, which you can do with every action, or just go to the bin and pull it out. Nothing gets deleted from this bin. Anything that you move into the bin is going to sit there until the end of time, unless you really, really want to get rid of it. And you can left click to select it and delete it forever. Most often, if there's anything you want in there, you're going to left click to select it and put it back where you found it, restore. Now it's not in the bin anymore, and it's back in the science folder where I had it in the first place. So that's the basics of how to use your drive and how to set up your drive. In another video, I will help you to share your documents between students and show you where to put things for your teacher to see. Thank you.